In Cleveland, they have a lot of quarterbacks. They have more quarterbacks than doors in the facility. They wrapped up a 3-day minicamp on Thursday, and they don't know who their quarterback's going to be either. It looked like it was going to be Deshaun Watson early, Michael. It feels like Shedeur Sanders has made some strides. My theory is that somebody had a fairly pointed talk with him about all the things he needs to do. It's not just about game day. There's a lot of other stuff you have to do to properly prepare yourself and properly lead a football team. You can't just show up and play like Brett Favre always wanted to do. Brett Favre didn't want to do anything but show up and play. I think someone has convinced him he needs to pay attention to details and needs to do a lot of these other things and embrace it as part of this day in and day out grind. And it may give him a shot to win the job over Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, I think even if he doesn't win the job over Watson, Mike, I think he is somebody who should prepare to play, and he should prepare to play a lot. Because if you look at Watson, his time in Cleveland, after a while, it's just not a coincidence. It's just something that, he's been through so many injuries the last 3 to 4 years. If you just list the Deshaun Watson injuries, it would seem like his body is like 45 years old. It's surprising that he's not as old as people think he is, because he's been off the radar for a while. He's had major injuries the last 4 years. You just look at it and say, even if he wins the job, the Browns would be foolish to think, okay, he's got the job, and we're going to plan on having Deshaun Watson be our quarterback for 17 games. It's very unlikely. So I think to your point, Shedeur really does have to be on his details, because the Browns are going to need him. He's going to get some time. It's likely he's going to get some time as the backup.
Yeah, Watson said earlier this week it's the first time he's been fully healthy since week 3 of the 2023 season, which is encouraging but also discouraging because, and I was saying this to Devin the other day, one of the reasons I have so much respect for professional football players, you spend so much time and effort getting your body into peak 100% physical condition so you can go out and get it injured and do it all over again. And that's the reality. How long is Deshaun Watson going to stay healthy? It reminds me of one of the original criticisms Chris had of Watson, that he treats every play like it's the last play of the Super Bowl. You have to know when to give up. You have to know when to call it quits. You can't put yourself, and he gets hit a lot. And, I know a lot of quarterbacks get hit a lot, and with him, it hasn't been the narrative that's become for certain others, like, hey, why don't you slide? Why don't you get out of bounds? The Jackson Dart stuff. But when you look at how injured Deshaun Watson has been, there is a point where you got to pull the plug on a play. All right, here's Todd Monken, head coach of the Browns, on the improvement that he has witnessed in second-year quarterback Shedeur Sanders.
I just think he's doing a better job. I think he's being more decisive. Now, it's easy to say we're not in pads. It just feels like he's making quicker decisions. The ball's coming out of his hands, which he's going to have to do. Not that he doesn't have playmaking ability, because he does. But his ability to process quicker and get the ball out of his hands and eliminate lost yardage plays is going to be huge for us to be able to stack plays and score, which is ultimately the number one thing to do.
My take on all of this, and I'm sure we've encountered someone like this at some point in our lives, mainly professional lives, somebody who knows how to do the hard parts of the job but keeps tripping over their shoelaces on the easy parts of the job. And I kind of feel like that's what the Browns think and what Monken may think of Shedeur. He has playmaking ability. He can do the hard parts of the job. We just got to get him to do the easy parts of the job. Because if he can master the easy parts of the job, he'll be even better on the hard parts of the job.
Yeah, and I wonder why the easy parts, and this is, you're right, we've all worked with somebody like that. And the question we have, whether it's football or school or any other industry or profession, we say, why are the easy parts difficult for you? And a lot of times the easy things are difficult because that person thinks it's boring. They're bored by the easy stuff. They like the drama. They like the big things. They like the hard things, but the mundane things, they get bored by them. I don't know if that's what's happening with Shedeur Sanders, but as a quarterback, you know your success is embracing the boring things. Hey, sometimes you get that check down. Sometimes it's throwing the ball away and living to see another play. And so he's got to master that. And I guess if he can master that, maybe he will win that job. But that's what Todd Monken is looking for.
And the challenge is, and it's a combination of maturity and just understanding all those boring things make the exciting things even more exciting. You convince him you'll be better. It gets back to what we were talking about. Good coaches. You find a way to press the buttons and get the desired result. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.